Hey everyone, it is Eric with Rockin' H TV, Rockin' H Farm Toys, and welcome to lesson 2 of our Welker Farms 9370 International Build Along. This is a 1/64 scale model. As you well know, I'm a huge fan of the Welkers, and I just admire them. They have a wealth of knowledge. I'm completely intimidated by what they do, but I do know models, so that's what I know how to work on, and I thought it'd be awesome to have one, so that's why we're here. B&B Auto, good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight is where the rubber hits the road. We are going to get real busy doing some cutting and stuff like that. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And so we're going to actually do some cutting tonight. We're going to do some grinding, some dry fitting, and see what we can get done. In the meantime, I do need to set my little GoPro up here. Yee 108. Well, welcome. Thank you for watching. And if you didn't hear me from last time, last lesson, I kind of explained what we're doing, how we're doing it, the tools we're going to need, etc., etc. You going to jail? Well, I hope not. But tonight, so I did that last week, and then also, because I want to make a nicer video of this, I've also got my GoPro here, and I'm going to hang this up here in a little holder. I don't know if this is going to work. There we go. I'm going to put this up quick. All right, let's see if that will work. So, always trying new things to make Rockin' H TV better. So I've got that going up there. I've got you in a little different holder than I normally do because I'm using my other one for something else. So, tough luck, eh? What you're going to need tonight, you're going to need some sort of container to hold your parts. Obviously, if you don't have one yet, go to eBay, go to a toy box someplace and find one of these complete. This is an Ertl International 9370. Get one of those. And then I'm going with the Diecast Promotions frame. This frame has working suspension, steerable front axle. They're just a really nice frame. Plus, once our cab is mounted on here, then we can pull really cool trailers that will fit the frame perfectly and everything will be fine. Oh, well thanks. Well, if I'm a great YouTuber, I appreciate that. And then you're going to need some sort of a cutting device. I'd recommend a Dremel. If you don't have one, get one of these. You'll notice I have a cutting disc in here for good reason. This has got the fiberglass in it. I only use these blades. The ones, you usually get them in a kit or something. They're just kind of a pressed material. I really don't like those because they shatter so easy. So I'm not going to be using those at all. I use these. They're more expensive, they're spendy, but they are absolutely worth it. And frankly, I think they're a lot safer. So that's where I'm going on that. So that's the tools you need. That's where we're headed. And let us get to work, huh? Let's try this. I'm going to flip you around. I may not see your comments because I'm just going to be working here, okay? And I'm going to try and get you in a spot where you can see everything. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is start out on our drill press here. You don't have to have a drill press. Do not use that as an excuse not to make an awesome model because you don't have a tool that I have. That is ridiculous and a mistake. I'm just going to tell you flat out, I don't accept it. Wrong answer. You can use a cordless drill, you can use a corded drill. All you need is something to drill out these rivets right here. There is 1, 2, 3, and they're not even rivets. Excuse me, there we go. All these is die cast that's been kind of pressed, for lack of a better word. It's just been squished somewhere in manufacturing. So that's all you need. You need some sort of drilling device. And really, guys, I'm not saving any of this plastic here. I'm not saving this. I'm not saving the wheels at all. So if you just want to tear this up, no, for me, there's no love lost because I'm not keeping any of it anyway. All right. Although I will save those stacks just because it's always handy to have stacks around. There we go. Now you can see, maybe. You can even use a grinding wheel or some type of grinding device in your Dremel if you have one. That'd be okay, you can do that. Out of 2 holes, you can see the bit wandered well off of what I wanted it over here, and it wandered up. Well, I got a good one here. That one, I don't have very high expectations for. We're probably going to screw that all sorts of up. And actually, that's not all bad because, like I said, I'm not keeping any of this. So why don't we just pry that off for fun? So I got my flathead screwdriver. I'm going to come in here away from my grill. I don't really want to screw that up at all. So I'm going to come in over here on the side, someplace. Ooh, let's not bust it. I don't want to bust that grill. Whoa, let's get away from that. I want to keep the grill because I've only got one. Okay, there we go. All right. Now we take the wheels off. All of this can come out. That can come off, all right. It looks like this piece up here on the front and your grill actually are together, but for our purposes, we don't need to keep that because all we really want is this piece here. This is all we really want. I'm just throwing all my parts in my container here. I can separate out what I don't want and what I want later. Okay. Everything is just fitted in here. It's setting in here. It's not glued in. There's no rivets holding it in. So all you have to do is pull this stuff out. Okay. So there's your window. There's your cab glass. Now, all we really want to keep is the sleeper, the cab, and the fenders. I don't care about all this, so we're going to have to cut all of this stuff out where the axles were mounted, and then we're going to have to knock off this part here. You can cut this off with a handsaw, any kind of metal handsaw, a Dremel, or I'm going to use my bandsaw, which I'll show you here. Ready? And of course you can't see very well, but you'll get the idea. Okay. This is all I did. We are going to come in here and trim all this off. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that on my sander. And here we go. Okay. Now, I have told guys hundreds of times, you do not need power tools to do what I do. Power tools just make it faster. That's all. You can get anything I'm doing accomplished with hand tools. You're just going to spend more time doing it, okay? So do not use lack of tools as an excuse, okay? All right. You may get tired of me preaching that, but I do not want you to not make a cool model just because you don't happen to have a tool that I'm using. All right. Next, we need to cut all this out. All right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with my Dremel, and this is going to take a while, so if you've got something else to do, you might want to go do that. This is going to take a little time. What I normally do is I'll usually come in here and just cut off some of the excess as much as I can with my Dremel, usually from the inside out. And then I come in. So what I do is I come in like this first, well, excuse me, like this first on the inside, cut some of this excess out. Then I will come in here like so with this cutting edge and grind that out. And I want to see, look how my grinding wheel is almost the perfect diameter of that. Now it just happens to be dumb luck it's this size, okay? If this thing wears out while I'm grinding, I'm going to have to put a new one on, and they're 1.5 inches in diameter. So you can see this one is about shot. You know, just for good luck, let's just put a new one in anyway. So there's no reason to not use it. I think I have one. Or I thought I had one. Okay. So if you're shopping, this is the blade I use. This is the only blade I use, just so you know, okay? I don't use any other blade like this, and you can see the fiberglass woven into this material right there. This makes, these do not shatter like these over here. These little guys come in several different sizes and styles, but these are just pressed together and held together by glue. And this is got the fabric which keeps it together. These will shatter. I have a terrible time with these shattering. These are good. These are safe. Even when they break, they don't come apart. I mean, that's just... And I wear safety glasses when I use it, guys. I figure I've only got 2 eyes. I'm going to keep them. I wear glasses anyways, so I know the value of good eyesight. So I'm not about to sacrifice my eyesight. Oop, there, we get that locked. Okay, come on. Boy, that's on there tight. Ooh, all right, there we go. So this is all I'm doing. I'm just taking a few seconds here to change out a blade. I can use this blade, and then as I was talking to you, I thought, let's just go ahead and change it. It's not going to hurt anything. It'll be better in the long run. And with it being bigger, it'll be quick, a little bit faster. So all I'm doing here is I hold the nut with my finger, and then I just turn the chuck. Give it a little hand tighten, and we're ready to go. Okay. I've got my safety glasses on, and need a little power. I'm going to go and unplug my drill quick, so that's out of the road. And let's cut some steel. Okay, a little quick update of here what I've done. All I did was I cut out just some of this excess stuff. That's it. Just the excess. Okay? That's all I've done here. We will cut out some of these sprues. I do like to leave these a little long to begin with. That way, when I'm fitting this back to the frame, sometimes those sprues can be kind of handy when I go to level this cab on the frame. And you'll notice, look right inside there. Look at that. Well, here, we'll look at it from the front. See, so that die cast that I'm actually cutting out is hitting our spindles inside there. That's why we got to take that out. That, and you don't want that in there. I don't want that in there. It doesn't look clean and neat. That looks ugly and gross. So we're going to take that out. Now, this is where it's going to take a little while, guys. So if you got a soda to drink or something like that, you better go get it. One other thing, that die cast is going to get hot. Get you some gloves or a holding device of some sort. There we go. Okay. Okay, so all I did here was I made a bunch of cuts in there, grinding a lot of that out. As I was working on this, you may have seen me, I tried to go like so, but look how much bigger my wheel is than the wheel well. And since I have this little smaller blade, I'm going to use that. If you have some sort of a grinding wheel that you can work in there, that'd be fine. Use a grinding wheel of some sort. I haven't, not a huge fan of, well, the grinding wheels that come from Dremel. It seems like I haven't had a huge amount of success on die cast with those, so I don't really get too worked up about using them. But I do love these cutting blades. Man, these are just very, very nice. Okay, these are just really, really good blades. Okay, that one doesn't want to tighten up on me like the other one did. There we go. Nope, not going to do it. Okay. Ta-da! Here we go. Now, see how nice that fits right there? That's going to be okay. Let's do this. Okay, this is part of die-cast modeling. It it never fails. You have one idea, think it's a rock star, and then it turns out, ooh, it's not so great. So you'll notice even the wheel I'm using right here is still too big a diameter. What's going to happen here, and I don't know if it'll matter or not, but I don't know that I want to cut into this die cast right here by my fingertip. And then over here, let's just do a quick dry fit and see where we're at so we don't screw something up. Okay, right. Okay, so you'll notice right where I'm grinding, see how sharp that's getting? Right there? Okay, look at the front, right here. Where are we at? Right there? That's gonna end up cutting this in. We're gonna end up cutting into this. And I don't think I wanna lose that piece of die cast right there. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna work a little bit on this side with my wheel, and then I'm gonna come up with a better plan, okay? May end up using a grinding wheel for the Dremel, and I may just end up turning my Dremel, the blade, a little bit so I can get in here. I want to remove more of this die cast right in here just to clean that up and make it look better. Okay, I need a little more real estate on my wheel, so I'm going to pull this out of the chuck just a little bit. I just need a little more room there. Okay, so this is the passenger side. I want you to notice from the side here, okay, we don't see any of that die cast left over from the inside. It's all gone now. You can see how I've managed to, by changing the angle of the blade, I was able to get that down right where I think I kind of want it. One thing I would caution, you'll notice that right there I got into my fender a little bit with the blade. Okay, be very careful that you don't do that, because now we have this little nick in the fender, and there's not a great way to repair that just because of where it's at. So be careful when you're grinding. All right, let's do the driver's side after a quick touch-up. his hand here. I think I'm pretty happy with what we've got here. This is going to be okay. I think I am going to get a grinding wheel out and see if I can't just clean up some of these burrs just to smooth it out and make it look nice. Chances are a guy will never ever see the inside of those fender wells right here because, you know, who turns their diecast upside down? Really? I mean, nobody? I mean, about the only time you might turn them upside down is when you're looking to buy something. Other than that, you know, really, who turns them upside down? Mine just set on a shelf, as I showed you last week. Oh, come on. There we go. I don't know if this is going to work, if this is the right wheel or not. This is kind of a beat up thing that I've had around for years. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, I think I can live with that. If you didn't notice, I did go ahead and cut the sprue off a little bit right there, those stubs. I did that right away. And now, let's give it a test fit and see what happens. Oh my gosh, that's not gonna work. Alright. So as you can see, if we were to level this dude out, look how high that's gonna sit. That's gonna be dumb. Well, we can't have that. So we're gonna have to do something that's not perfect, maybe even not ideal, but it's gonna have to work. I think. Okay, you just have to bear with me as I just kind of think this through a little bit. There, now you can be in on the thinking. Alright, so as you can see this truck here, we had to think this out. So if we level that up, look how high above those wheels that's going to sit, if that's level. That's going to look like a 4x4, and we don't want that. So I think, okay, on the back of this cab, take a look. You can see how it kind of it dips down just a little bit, ever so slightly. I don't know if you can see it very well in the shot. I can see it very plainly here, but this is not level. Here, let me just do this so you can see it very well. Just a moment. Yeah, right here. Let's use this piece. Okay, you can see on the corners there, see, it's not level. So I can take this to my sander and just flatten this out right here, flatten out that edge, and then I think we might be close. We'll see. Let's go. Let's see what that did for us. Okay. And we can stand a little bit, but not as much as we need. Okay. I'd like to see that drop down another 1/16 at least. But look how nice those wheels, these tires, fit inside those fenders. That is sexy. I like what we're doing here. I like this a lot. Okay, so I think what else we could do here would be just to remove some die cast right in the middle, okay? We do that with our Dremel. We could do it with a file if you had a file on hand, it doesn't matter. But I think, so you can see what I'm doing here. What I want to do is okay, so you can kind of see this die cast right here and here on the inside of this cab, right? 1, 2. Well, those almost straddle our frame. So what I'm thinking here is, we come in with the Dremel, you make a cut here, and then we just take a little bit out right there. Okay, so let's give that a shot and see what happens. There you go. Okay. I'm going to pull that out. Just pull that on that. How'd we do, guys? Let's take a look. Oh boy, I think we're getting close. Okay, yeah, I love this. Okay, one other thing on our frame. This this is a Kenworth frame, and this is where the sleeper would have been screwed to the frame on the regular Diecast Promotions truck. So it stands up just a little taller than the frame edge. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it does. So I'm going to take my Dremel. I'm actually going to clean that off too. And that will get us lower just a little bit. Okay, notice what I did? I just made it messy. I'm actually going to strip this frame down to bare metal and repaint it the color of the actual truck. And then I'm also going to shorten it up to the correct wheelbase. So I think we're pretty darn close, guys and girls, if you're watching, ladies, if you're watching. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, hold on, hold on. Whoa, hold the phone. We're not done yet. I didn't make this quite wide enough, so I'm going to make it just a wee bit wider. Now it sets. Okay. Now when we go to level that up, look at that. I think it's going to be about right. So I dropped that. What did I do here? Let me see. Something's not right. Let's see. There we go. Now it's fitting. Okay, so that should be about right there. So what I did was just probably a bit over a 1/16 of an inch is what I went ahead and took out right here. And then took this round attachment piece up, ground it off as well. Now you might be asking, can I use a Peterbilt frame? Can I use another type of... Absolutely, you can use a Pete frame. You can use whatever frame you can find. This just happened to be what I had on hand, okay? That's why I'm using it. I didn't have... I mean, I already paid for it. So, DCP Kenworth is what this is. Okay. Now, about the last thing here we're going to do this evening, two things, we're second to last thing here. What we're going to do, we can actually buy aftermarket clearance lights and horns instead of using the Ertl kind, or Ertl style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind these off as well, get rid of these, because we're going to use aftermarket stuff, and then we're going to put it in this paint stripper, and then we're going to call it a night, okay? Okay, I just used my cutoff wheel on the side, you saw me doing it, to kind of rough off the die-cast air horns and clearance lights. I'm actually going to go get a sanding wheel out of my cabinet and use a sander to be a bit more precise and not take so much off. In my good fortune, I do happen to have two Dremels, so I keep one for one purpose and one for another. Uh-oh. Well, that's not working right. Okay. Got to change out the sanding wheel. I just had the Rockin' H Model Building Summit here in Dodge City, Kansas over the weekend, and basically for $150 this year, you came to you pay me 150 bucks. I get a big ballroom at a hotel, and I take my shop, I empty out my shop here, and then guys come to Dodge City and we build models all weekend. And that's what we do on the summit. Anyways, during the summit, one of the fellas must have used my sander and, well, it needs a new sanding disc. So I had 6 guys. I could only take 8. Well, I only take 8, mostly because I tell you, it's exhausting. Now the idea is I don't do work for you. You do the work, and when you need help, I teach you how to do stuff. So once you kind of get the hang of stuff, and I give you lots of attaboys and hopefully build up your confidence, so when you leave, you can do a lot of stuff on your own. Okay. Anyways, that's the last weekend of February annually. here in Dodge. Uh-oh. Well, looks like I get to put 2 in this time. That's alright, they're cheap and worth it. That's kind of unusual, I run one off that fast. That's okay, that's what they're there for, right? To use. Okay. Boy, this is the scary thing about putting this screw in here, is because I was afraid I'm going to drop it and my shop will eat it and I won't be able to find it. Luckily, you can buy replacement screws at the local hardware store, but that little screw, I thought, holy cow, what in the world? What's it made of? Actually, you got to buy this whole mandrel. I was still surprised, like, good grief. Must be made of gold. That's okay. Alright, try again. Alright, there we go, all nice and shiny. Looks like I could probably take a little bit of sandpaper over that. It's kind of wavy in there where I got a little aggressive. And I just happen to have a piece of sandpaper right here. And when I'm working on die cast like that, I like to put some sort of flat surface in there. Whoops. Oh, there it goes. Good news. Yeah, baby. That's what we like. Okay. Notice how the waves are pretty much gone. A little dimple right there, but I'm not going to get too carried away with that. So I think we are ready to go. We're ready to go to paint, or excuse me, paint remover. I think before we do that though, if you notice right here, it's got some lines from in the die cast from when it was actually cast, and then a couple of grooves in there that I got my blade a little too close to the die cast or sander or whatever. So maybe we'll just try and take that out a little bit, huh? I mean, we're here and we have the tools out. Let's do it. Yeah, ran another one off. Huh, that's kind of unusual. Ran another one off. But you can see kind of what I had going on there. Actually, I think to do this step will be easier once the paint's off, because I know I was putting quite a bit of pressure on there just trying to get the paint off of this thing. So if this thing isn't hot or warm at all, okay, now we're good. I'm going to stick it in lacquer thinner, which is flammable, as you are well aware. This is my preferred. Okay, let's just get the lacquer thinner over here. Take a little look. Okay, and this is just pure lacquer thinner. I put it bucket in a bucket. This butter dish with holes in it acts kind of like a basket. Well, it's a basket, so I can pull my parts out when I want to. You'll notice I have a hood in there that I had to strip. And my phone just told me we're about out of juice, so we're gonna have to call this a night here pretty quick. But this cheap die cast usually bubbles up pretty quick. Okay, you can already see the paint right there. Oh yeah, look at that, it's bubbling up everywhere. So yeah, this will be quick to take the paint off of. If I had more battery, we would just do it tonight, but we've been together for about an hour, and I think that's long enough, don't you? All right. So what we're going to do is let that chillax in the lacquer thinner, and next week what we'll do is we're going to strip it. We're going to prime. Well, we'll do any other body work. Excuse me. Do any other body work we need to get it pretty and gorgeous. And then, I think what we'll do is we'll drill some holes in the sides. I'm going to go look on the video of the Welker Farms truck and see what kind of hand grabs and different things are on the outside of the cab. What we can do is actually drill tiny holes in there and make spots to bend wire to make the actual hand grabs. And so we'll get that done. And then I'll talk about what kind of paint I'm using. I'm going to go out to Hobby Lobby and see if I can find any color, and then the automotive stores, see what other colors I can find that might match the frame and that lighter brown. I have a dark brown that I think is going to be pretty close, and then I've got orange here. Actually, I'm going to use decals for orange just because it's easy. I know how to do it and it's easy for me. And taping is a nightmare for me. So that's what we're going to do next week. So strip paint, drill holes, talk about paint. We'll probably prime it, do any body work, and then we'll keep on trucking. So we're not too far away. We've spent just about an hour on this project tonight so far, and anything I've done here you can do. So if you have any questions, leave them